Are you a real operational business leader with a team that has to sell big contracts to major clients, generally known as key accounts? Yeah, you might find this tip is helpful, particularly if you've ever experienced a situation where the salesperson or even yourself thought, we've got that contract, we've won it. And then suddenly, out of left field at the last minute, you discover you haven't got the contract at all, and it's been overruled and gone some other way. Yeah, it happens. Happened to me many times. And one way I found of dealing with it is something I'm going to share with you now. The way I dealt with it was I had key reviews with all the key account directors every month. They needed to explain to me what was going on with the account, where they were on winning the next contract, renewing the contract or whatever it was. It took an hour with each top salesperson every month, but it was worthwhile investment. And one of the key things I got them to prepare for that meeting was what I call a hierarchy map. Because most salespeople actually don't do this. It sounds obvious when I explain it to you, but just check that your salesperson actually has done this with each of their accounts. So the hierarchy map is very simple. At the center of the hierarchy, you put down a dot, and that's your key contact, who you think is probably the key decision maker. You then put some dots below them, 1, 2, or 3, of key people in their team that influence that person in making the decision. It might be the IT director as your key target, your key contact, but he's got technical staff who are experts on the different bits of software or whatever that you're selling. So that's 2 layers on the hierarchy. Now the trick and the most important thing here is to say to your salespeople they must find out 2 steps above their key contact. They must find out who the IT director reports to and who the person they report to reports to. Because if they don't, that's where you're going to get caught out. Because you may think the IT director is the person who decides what platform they're going to use. And yes, certainly going to have a major influence on it. But it's very possible that it has to be signed off by the finance director they report to, or the client director they report to, or whatever it is their reporting line. And that might also need to be signed off by the chief executive, or the group chief executive, or whatever role they've got. So find out who the people are that report 2 layers above your key contact, because they're the people that are going to stymie your deal when you think you've got it. And just to reinforce that point, people of my generation will remember that when we were young, one of the most successful sales forces in the world was the IBM sales force. Selling against IBM was really difficult because they worked really hard to build their relationships at board level with the finance director and chief executive. And so it didn't matter how much you had the IT director on board, if the chief executive believed you don't get fired for buying IBM, then the chief executive would overrule the IT director and say, no, I want a safe IBM system that doesn't get me fired. Hope you find that useful. Use that hierarchy with your salespeople, and hopefully you'll have successful sales and a successful business. If you found this tip useful, please let me know. If you haven't, also let me know. I need feedback. I need to keep improving my tips. And finally, I just hope that you found it useful and you are able to take it away and build a more successful business thanks to these tips. Good luck. Bye-bye.